We got to get Eric Rollins out, by the way. Eric, I know you're listening. You got to be here too for our election night coverage. It's going to be simulcasted. It will be simulcasted. It will be on cable, on television. It will be on radio. So that's our simulcast. And of course, you can always catch us on social media. Remember, if it is election night, this is the only station you need to be on. Really, if it's any night, if it's any day, this is the place you got to be on right here. The best talk in town, Talk Radio 1550 KXEX. This is where you got to be. 5 to 9 is when we'll be simulcasted live on. I think it's Dish and Comcast. I don't know the channels because I cut the cord, but nonetheless, we will be on cable for election night. We'll be breaking it down for you moment by moment. Of course, more than likely, we won't have any results because we are a third world country when it comes to voting, and we don't have results. So we might have results maybe by January 1st if we're lucky. If not, then just hold your horses. There will be hardly any election night results. But I do say this. I keep telling everybody. What we will do, and I bet you at probably at 5 o'clock, I will call a couple of races. That's right. I can call them right now. Gavin Newsom will be your next governor of the state of California. I can call that race. I'll be the first one to call the race. That's what we should do, is we should call some of the races already right now because we kind of know, unfortunately, the way things are going to go. All right, there's so much to talk about. I don't even know where to begin. Joe Biden yesterday, and actually, let me pull this clip up. Joe Biden yesterday was doing his plea for I don't know what. But the left is so out of touch, and I don't want to give you a talking point that you already know. Everybody knows how out of touch Joe Biden is. Joe Biden is not relevant in virtually any conversation with the American people or for the American people, and that is because he lives in a bubble. Literally, he lives in a bubble. He doesn't go out. He doesn't know what it's like. I don't think Joe Biden ever really truly knew what it was like to just live in America. And I don't have any grudges against the elite because he is the elite. He's obviously president of the United States. I don't have any grudges with him. But the reality is this: I love campaigning. I don't campaign, but I love watching campaigns, and I've been a part of a couple of campaigns, but I love watching campaigns because I always find it fascinating what a campaign chooses to do, what a campaign chooses to say, what a campaign thinks is important, and why the heck campaigns do what they do. I love it. And I cannot believe if you are losing, right? I mean, if you are losing in a game, let's pretend I did a football analogy at the start of the show. Let's pretend that you are let's just pretend you're on the Las Vegas Raiders squad, which has been losing quite a bit. And you're on the squad and you keep losing game after game after game. What would you do? You'd change it up a little bit, right? You wouldn't double down and keep doing the same thing that causes you to lose. You would change it up. And in figuring out why the Democrats don't change up their campaign message, I had this aha moment, and that is they really don't care how this election goes. You know that? The Democrats don't care what happens in what? 5 days? 4 days? 5 days? 4 days? They really don't care. And I know some of you are probably saying, oh, Guillermo, what do you mean? Of course the Democrats care. They care. No, they really don't care. I believe firmly that there are disposable Democrats. All right, we'll call them DDs. They're disposable Democrats. The people that really run the party, the establishment, the Clintons, the Bidens, the Obamas, the Schumers, the Pelosi's, the people that actually run the party, they really don't give one iota what happens to some of these congressional seats. Do you really believe that the Democrat Party cares about Fetterman? Do you really believe they care about Fetterman? Do you really believe they care about Warnock? Do you really believe they care about Kelly in Arizona? Do you think they care about any of the Democrats? No, of course they don't. They don't care because they're all disposable. And I had this theory. So hold on, let me finish that theory before I go on to my next one. And don't call me Alex Jones. None of these are conspiracy theories, all right? I'm not saying that, the frogs are going to vote or something like that. But here's my theory. The Democrats are ready for a loss. I mean, they're ready. They're ready to take it. If you played sports and you knew you were facing like the best team in the entire section, and in tennis we had a couple of those teams, and you just knew you were going to lose. I mean, you were already you were ready for it, right? I mean, you were ready. I can't go out right now and just do a marathon. I can't go out and do a marathon and win. I know I'm going to lose. So what do? You just try to mitigate it, and you just do the best you can. The Democrats are ready to lose. They're ready to lose, which is why they don't care about crafting a different campaign message. So remember, I wanted to see what are they doing? Like what are they coming out with? They come out with Obama. They dusted him off the shelf. He goes out. Obama doesn't like the Democrat Party as it is now. You know that? Obama wouldn't even survive in today's Democrat Party. And they dusted him off and came out. You know, the conversation went a little bit like this. Hey, Obama, we're going to lose. We're going to get clobbered. We need you. And he probably said, well, let me be clear. Damn it. I told Joe he shouldn't run. And he's running this country into the ground. I'm sick and tired of it. But I'll come out. Just donate a couple of million into my PAC. And I'll come out and I'll do the right thing. Because that's who I am. And you know they had to dust him off and say, hey, we really need you to get out there. He doesn't like this party. He doesn't stand for anything that this party stands for. Which is why they really don't have a message. They don't have anything that they can come out with. AOC has been silent. Rashida Tlaib has been silent. Bernie Sanders has been silent. You notice that all the wackos in their party have been silent? Like no one's coming out. Kamala Harris has been she's been eerily silent since she got in. But you notice that? You notice nobody's saying anything. That's because they're going to take the loss. They know they're going to lose, and they're not going to change anything. Everyone's talking about this, especially I think Brian Kilmeade was talking about this exact morning, was, hey, when the Democrats lose, what are they going to do? Are they going to say, you know what? Yeah, we got to change some things up. Right? Remember when Barack Obama lost? I mean, he came out the next day and said, well, I want to be very clear. That was a shellacking. I took a shellacking. I don't even know what a shellacking is, but he said he took a shellacking. He knew he lost. He lost big. Joe Biden on Wednesday will not come out and say, you know what? Here's the deal, man. They don't like me. I'm going to change my way. You're not going to do that. He's not. He's going to double down and say that all the racist MAGA Republicans came out and all the Democrats and hardworking people were at work working hard, or they were scared to go vote. You know, that's the narrative, right? If the Democrats don't show up, that's because they were afraid to go to the polls because there were too many MAGA people voting. You know that's going to be, even though they could mail in their ballot, they're going to say, you know what, they were so afraid to even mail it in their own house. That's what they're going to say. They're going to say the left was so scared to come out. They didn't even want to mail it in because they were afraid that a MAGA supporter, an ultra MAGA type, was going to bust out of the mailbox right behind it and say, hey, no, you don't, buddy. Don't vote like that. And let me tell you this. This has got to be, you know, the Democrats give us way too much credit. You know that? The Democrat Party gives the conservatives way too much credit. They believe that we can actually collude all together to overtake an election. We can't even collude to go walking for some candidates across the nation. You know that? Some candidates struggle just to knock on doors. And here, Joe Biden and the left thinks we're some kind of masterminds, like we're going to go out and somehow just amazingly be able to just overtake the ballot box. That's what they're going to say. They're going to say that A, people were afraid to vote because there's just so many ultra MAGAs, and then B, that there's so many racists in the country that decided to come out and vote. America doesn't think this way. Elections have become very irrelevant to the left, to the powerful left. If I were an establishment Democrat, if I were in the upper uppity ups, I would say, yeah, we're ready to lose. And Joe Biden's on his way out. Let's just be very clear. Joe Biden is on his way out. Kamala is not a rising star. You know, the very top of the Democrat Party doesn't want to craft a campaign message, and they actually don't want to win this election cycle. They don't want to campaign because they don't want to win. They're tired of it. They have nothing to offer the American people. They want to take the next 2 years and say, oh, well, the Republicans are in charge. Things aren't any better. So in 2024, vote for us. They care more about 2024 than they do 2022. That's why they're okay losing. And this has been my greatest fear, is that when we take over next year, when we win in a couple of days, my biggest fear number one is not capturing the Senate. The House is kind of, that's a moot point. The House is over. We're going to win the House. But we kind of need to win the Senate, because we're not going to win the House by a veto-proof majority. All right, we're not gonna beat them that bad. We're not going to win the House. Republicans aren't going to win the House with a veto-proof majority. So we still have to work with other people. In the United States Senate, my biggest fear on Tuesday night is if we lose. Because if we lose, nothing's going to happen for 2 years. Nothing's going to happen for 2 years. Now, if we win the United States Senate, which I hope we do, all the pressure goes on us. We have the pressure now. Even though we don't control the executive branch, we will literally control 2 branches of government. If we win the United States Senate, we'll have the judiciary and we'll have the legislative branch of government. People will be looking to us, expecting different results. And I'm not sure the Republicans can deliver. I'm not deep down in my heart. I'm not sure we can deliver. And the Democrats are going to be sitting there saying, oh, well, what do you know? Looks like they can't do it either. And they're going to start gearing up for 2024. By the way, 2024, the presidential election for 2024 begins on Tuesday. Right after the polls close, it's nothing but 2024. The Democrats don't care about winning next week. They want us to have the pressure. They want us to be holding this hot potato because they want to be pointing to us. Now the president, and you'll see this, President Joe Biden, it's the beginning of next year, he'll actually stop blaming Trump. You know that, right? He's going to stop blaming Trump and actually start blaming Kevin McCarthy and Mitch McConnell. That's what he's going to do. Who's this? Is this Trump calling me? It's not. All right, fine. He's not returning my calls. No, I'm joking. I haven't called the president. He should, though. I have some advice for President Trump and for President Biden. But that's the game plan. The game plan is the Democrats don't care about Tuesday. All right. The uppity, the higher establishment Democrats, the guys and gals at the very, very top, they don't care about the election. They're ready to lose because they actually want the pressure to get off of them before 2024, number one. Number two, they have no intention on working with McConnell, Kevin McCarthy, anyone to move this country forward. Because remember, if the Republicans are successful, the American public will vote Republican in 2024. So they are going to make sure that Kevin McCarthy and Mitch McConnell are not successful at all. Things will start looking a little bit better, but I want to caution everybody. Next Tuesday is not going to be the moment in time where everything starts going back to normal. People are going to start feeling some relief. The stock market will probably be very happy. I'm sure we will have some relief in the economy with Republicans taking over. I'm just not sure. I am just not sure that we can actually get a lot done because of the left, because of the Democrats, because of the establishment. They have such an amazing game plan. You know that? You know that the Democrats in Congress have the Democrat Party in general has an amazing game plan. They're like the Chinese Communist Party. They're in it for the long game. Their game plan goes so deep. I mean, right now they're probably trying to figure out a way to ensure victory in 2024. They know they're going to lose. They're not going to work with McCarthy or McCarthy or McConnell. They're not going to work with they're not going to work with them. Their main goal is going to continue to be spewing hatred against the Republicans, making sure that people somehow connect conservatism with racism. That's what they're going to do. That's going to be their own for the next 2 years. That's all they're going to do. If you think that they were just trying to stop President Trump during his 4 years and his agenda, just wait until you see next year. They're not going to want to work at all, which is really sad that you have a political party that is more concerned with power than actually moving things forward for the American people. So there you go. There's my 2 cents. There's my 2 cents on what's going to happen on Tuesday, kind of my my overall view. And I really want to get into this next. Or actually, no, we'll get into some Joe Biden, what he had to say. Greta Thunberg, remember her? How dare you? Greta Thunberg. Is it Thunberg or Thornburg? I don't know. I get the two mixed up. Anyhow, she has a new cause. And I'll tell you what, it is capitalism. That racist, capitalistic West. That's right. I'll tell you what, Greta Thunberg's next advocacy is going to be here on the best talk in town, Talk Radio 1550 KXEX. Make sure you join us. Election night coverage next Tuesday from 4 to 9 p.m. It'll be simulcast on cable television as well. that's the jam right there. All right, sorry. Alan Autry's audience. Alan will be back mañana, so please be right here tomorrow for Alan Autry, the Alan Autry Show, and oh my, everything in my teeth. I had some nachos. Oh, we still got the look. We got the still got the nacho. Get that out of the camera shot. I had some nachos before the show, and my wife packed it up with like tons of onion. So this entire studio smells like onion. Packed it up with onion and cilantro. So just let me know you see like a cilantro thing coming out of my teeth right here. But, you know, whoa, that is a close-up shot. That is close. Where is that camera? Is that the same camera? That is like right up in my grill. Did Alan like that shot? That is like boom. That is like crazy close. That's kind of a good shot though. I mean, I kind of like that. Should we leave that shot? I mean, you can really see if I have any cilantro on my teeth. No. All right, good. All right, we'll keep that shot for a little bit. And that's like right up in your. That's like up close and personal right there. I'm gonna tell Alan Autry that's gonna be the shot right there. When I disagree with him, I'm just gonna put that shot on there. All right. I can't see your comments just yet, so I will look at them in just a bit. So much to talk about. Hey, producer, can we get the Facebook comments up? Or you know what? No, never mind. I think I can get them up. I think. Don't quote me on that. Oh my god! And then an illegal alien was the guy that beat on Pelosi. Did you hear about that? I'll talk about that next. Where the heck is my Greta Thunberg story? The puppy. Greta. Where are you? Greta. That's better, man. No? Here we go.
You're listening to the Alan Autry Show on the best talk in town. Talk Radio 1550 KXEX. Call Alan now. 559-899-1550.
Nobody else. I know that song. Alan Autry always makes fun of me because I don't know my songs. The old-timey songs right there. But I know that one. Sugar pie, honey bunch. Now they could be. I'm surprised that hasn't angered the woke left because, you know, what if a female doesn't want to identify as a sugar? What is it? Sugar pie, honey. I mean, I can't go up to women and be like, "Hey, what's up, sugar pie?" I mean, that's gonna be offensive. I mean, you can catch a case. Is that what they call it? The young catching a case. You can catch a case. You go up to someone and call them sugar pie honey bunch. All right, Greta Thunberg. I mean, I have some quick. Let's use a couple of quick hits right here. With man, look at that, catch a case, quick hits. People are gonna think like, wow, what's going on at KXCX? Let's do Greta Thunberg first. So Greta Thunberg, no stranger to you. She's also the climate change activist. She also has is it? Oh gosh, I forgot what ailment she has. Is it? Gosh, it starts with an A. I know that. All right, this is what she says. It's time to now overthrow the West's oppressive capitalist system. So she has made comments that the West's capitalist system, us and the United States, the West, She believes that we have a systematic racist system. So Greta Thunberg lashed out at the West's obsession with capitalism in a scathing rant during a sit-down chat in London to promote her new book. The 19-year-old Swedish activist called on everyone to help tear down the system that she believes is responsible for climate crisis we find ourselves today. Thunberg said, the Western world is in need of a system-wide transformation. This is what the teenage activist said. We are never going back to normal again because normal was already a crisis. What we refer to as normal is an extreme system built on the exploitation of people and the planet. It is a system defined by colonialism, imperialism, oppression, and genocide by the so-called global north to accumulate wealth that still shapes our current world order. Thunberg added that if the economic growth is the only priority of our global leaders, then what we are experiencing now should be exactly what we should be expecting. Greta Thunberg, first of all, I just, who's advising her? Because first of all, we are not responsible for the world's problems. Does the United States cause some of the world's problems? Yeah, we do. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to sit here and be like, no, we don't cause any of the world's. You know what, producer? I don't like the shot. I think it is pretty up close and personal. I'm sorry for our radio audience. We did a switcheroo with our camera system here, and I thought I liked the up close and personal shot. That is really close. All right, I feel much better now. That side shot, woo! That was a bit much. All right, so Greta Thunberg, I don't know who's advising her, but I hope someone can just chat with her and say, hey, listen, by the way, the current biggest polluters, all right, not the West, it's actually the Chinese and India. So there's the biggest polluters in the world, the Chinese and India. So it's not the West. So it's not the United States. But she has a hatred for America, and most activists do. You know, that doesn't matter where they're at around the world. Even the activists in America hate America. So that's nothing new. But activists like Greta Thunberg and other activists who only see it their way, they don't get it. So I don't give them a lot of credit because I don't think they have a worldview that actually takes into account the American experience, which she's Swedish, so she has no idea what the American experience is. But I really don't give them a lot of credence because they just don't get it. These activists never will. Most activists never will because they're so fixated with somehow getting rid of the current system and starting all over again. You notice that a lot of Democrats do that too. You just burn it down, start all over. Some of them actually, some of the activists on the left actually do burn stuff down, but I'm not sure they want to start off over in the true sense. But anyhow, that's what Greta Thunberg said. This also breaking too. I thought this was kind of interesting. The suspect in the violent Pelosi attack. Get this: the suspect in the violent Pelosi attack was in the United States illegally. ICE officials have said. David DePape, or is it DePape, or is it DePape? I don't know. I thought the guy was Italian when they first said it. I was like, David DePape? Like, sounds like Buca di Beppo. You've ever been to Buca di Beppo? It's yeah, I didn't like it. Family style, and it's just like, you know, it's a big old bowl of this, and you got to pass it around. It's November. I know. It was kind of weird. Anyhow, so no, David DePape is not related to Buca di Beppo, the Italian restaurant. But David DePape is actually not even. So when I saw that ICE said he was here illegally, I thought he was Latino. I was like, oh, David DePape. You know, David DePape. I was like, the guy's probably from Mexico, Guatemala, or something. Not there either. The guy's actually from Canada. Yeah, I say build a wall up there too. Build a wall. Listen, you know my view of Canadians. They are just. I think we should just buy. Can we just buy Canada? We allowed it. We tried that. We should what? Just take it? No, we can't. My producer, you gotta say, we should just take it. I'm not that they'd put up much of a fight, anyways. Do they? They do have a military, like all five of them. Our military. They have our military. Oh, great. Well, that'll make it easy. All right, so there you go. The Canadians. But this guy was from Canada. David DePape, the man charged, or DePape. I don't know. I don't know how Canadians say it. David DePape, the man charged with attempted murder in connection with a violent attack against Nancy Pelosi, the speaker's husband. Not her. I apologize. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi's husband, Paul Pelosi, is in the United States illegally and could be deported to Canada. ICE says, well, if he's deported, he will more than likely be coming back because that's the way things work, whether it's our southern border or our northern border. As I say, build a wall there too. Just build a wall. DePape, 42, has pleaded not guilty to multiple charges in connection with Friday's attack, which left Pelosi with a fractured skull and serious injuries to his right arm and hands. Federal authorities said DePape, who grew up in British Columbia and moved to California more than 20 years ago, according to a family member who spoke with the LA Times, had plotted to take Nancy Pelosi hostage and break her kneecaps, calling her the leader of the pack of lies told by the Democrat Party. Records pulled by ICE found that DePape entered the U.S. as a temporary visitor back in March 2008 at the San Ysidro port of entry. So he entered in the southern border. Yeah, San Ysidro. Yeah, so he didn't even enter. He didn't even enter in the Canadian border. Interesting. Canadians who enter as temporary visitors generally do not require a visa. The status DePape used to enter the U.S. generally allows Canadians to stay for 6 months. On Tuesday, ICE officials issued an immigration detainer on DePape. Wait a minute. I disagree with that. Why is ICE getting involved? Because San Francisco is a sanctuary city. Remember? San Francisco is a sanctuary city. So the guy that attacked Nancy Pelosi's husband, he wasn't booked by a federal governmental agency. He was actually booked by more than likely the local San Francisco, probably county jail, which doesn't talk to ICE. So how did ICE get involved? So maybe San Francisco is not a sanctuary city after all. Everybody follows my logic here, right? Remember, San Francisco is a sanctuary city, and they don't like to talk to ICE. Turns out that when it involves the Democrats and the elite, they will talk to ICE to get these people out of here. The detainer seeks a notification from San Francisco law enforcement to notify ICE before he is released in order for the federal agency to take custody of him. Local and state laws limit when jail officials can notify ICE. Told you. ICE issues detainers against people facing criminal charges whom the agency has probable cause. In a motion seeking to deny bail, the San Francisco DA said DePape told officers and medics at the scene, "I'm sick of this insane effing level of lies coming out of Washington, D.C." I just don't believe this guy. I've never seen a Canadian be that in love with American politics that they're willing to. I'm not saying it can't happen. I just don't believe it. Don't believe it. Anyhow, Judge Diane Northway ordered DePape held without bail pending additional hearings. What happened to bail reform? Huh? What if he can't afford bail? Right? What if he came from a disadvantaged? What? We just shouldn't be charged bail. That's all I'm saying. Now just hand him over to ICE. ICE will deport him, and more than likely he will come back through the porous southern border, which he did. All right, anyhow, so that's Greta Thunberg. That's the illegal who struck Paul Pelosi with a hammer. I want to switch gears here real quick. You know what? Should we get to the Biden audio? No. We still have time. I want to get to David Valadao, the local congressman here who voted to impeach President Trump, one of the few that is still from that impeachment pack that is still in office. I've been very kind to David Valadao in the last ever since he won the primary. And I want to be very clear about David Valadao and his recent statements. They were unforced errors. All right, David Valadao, of course. And I'm trying to pull up the story here. Many of you know that David Valadao recently told ABC 30 that he would not support President Trump in 2024. David Valadao won't support Trump in 2024. Now, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that everybody has to support President Trump in 2024, or else I'm not going to like you. No, you could vote for Joe Biden again, and I'll still like you. For me, politics. Politics is important. I'm not going to say it is, but it's not going to dictate how I treat you as a person. But there's really no but. David Valadao has really gotten under my skin with what he just said recently, because he's a sitting United States congressman. He's a sitting United States congressman who voted to impeach Donald Trump, who doesn't like Donald Trump, who were it not for Kevin McCarthy, David Valadao wouldn't even be where he is at currently. I just want to be very clear with that. If it weren't for Kevin McCarthy, David Valadao would be back. Oh, I don't know if he still has his dairy. He'd be back to farming, which is great. We need all the farmers we can get here in the Central Valley. But Congressman David Valadao has to now, in my eyes, has to be one of the most self-centered, in your face, I'm going to do whatever the hell I want individuals, and I don't care, that is currently running for office. David Valadao, Republican, did not have to come out and say, I will not support Donald Trump in 2024. This is exactly what he said in an interview with ABC 30. This is what he said. We don't need President Biden. We don't need President Trump. I think we've got a lot of great candidates on the Republican side that would do a way better job. Guys like Tim Scott, guys like Mike Pence, Ron DeSantis, all good people, I think, would do a great job. And I think it would take us a new direction where we can actually focus on solving problems instead of the past. David Valadao added he would worry about 2024 when it comes. He's one of 10 Republicans in the House who voted to impeach President Trump. This is you. David did not need to do this. David Valadao did not need to come out and say, hey, yeah, don't need Trump. We don't need Biden or Trump. I can't express how frustrating it is to read that statement. As a Republican who, heading into a couple of days, you want to win, right? You've already pissed off a lot of Republicans by voting to impeach President Trump. Everyone is finally starting to get over that vote, and you're going to come out and say, "Oh, hey guys, by the way, yeah, we don't need Trump in 2024." Like, is he that? That's really a hey, forget you, in your face type of move to the Republicans, to the, and I don't want to call them the Trump America First supporters, but it is really an insulting. Shut up! I don't want the man. I don't like the man, and I don't support him in 2024. It was a stupid comment to make, and I just told. I love campaigns. I love watching them. I love determining why they say things, why they do what they do. David Valadao doing that is just plain stupid. I hope whoever his campaign manager is, and I know a couple of people that were on his campaign last time, well, the time he lost. I hope someone pulls him aside and says, "What are you, a freaking idiot? Like, you didn't need to do that. Fine, everybody knows you hate Trump. Like, everybody knows that. You made that very evident by your comments, by your vote. First of all, by your impeachment vote, you made that very evident. You also make it evident every time you do media that you don't like Trump. He's really taking, I believe, Kevin McCarthy's support of him and the establishment Republicans' support of him. I think he's taking it and really just waving it in the face of all the other Republicans that don't support him and say, hey, I can do this without you guys. It is incredible. And I told everybody a couple of weeks ago, you got to vote for him because he's a Republican, and we need to take back the House. But at this point in time, we're going to take the House back. Pretty sure of that. David Valadao, in my eyes, is at best maybe an independent. To be honest with you, I see David Valadao now as an independent. That's all he is. He's not a true conservative. He's not. He's so far away from the realm of just viability of winning the seat by himself now. It's so frustrating. I can't tell you how frustrating it is. So I recommended people vote for David Valadao. I'm pulling back my recommendation and saying, well, they're pretty much both the same, to be honest. Him and Rudy Salas, the Democrat that lies about his age on Tinder, and what are the other ones? Bumbles, Tinder. I don't know, the websites, the dating apps. There you go. He's just to me, they're one and the same. I feel really bad for the voters of that district because you had a shot to get rid of David Valadao. He managed to make it through the primary. He believes that this country doesn't need President Trump. He must be, and I'm trying to be incredibly nice right now to Valadao, and I'm trying to be incredibly judicious with my language because there's a lot of his supporters that listen to the show. And I think a lot of people probably see me more of a, I'm not a moderate, but I know people see me as a voice of reason. But David Valadao coming out and saying that we don't need President Trump in 2024 is incredibly, it's just straight up stupid. Like if you look up the word stupid in the dictionary, you would get that response. And I know, and I know his campaign is not okay with it because he is running against a pretty solid, in a solid Democrat district. But he didn't do this to get more Democrat votes. He did this because he truly hates Donald Trump. An individual like that, and we've seen these individuals in the government right now. We've seen individuals that truly hate Donald Trump. It destroys them. It makes them just as bad as the left. The members of the left who hate Donald Trump. They're fixated on Donald Trump. David Valadao is now fixated on Donald Trump. Why do you still keep talking about him, David? Like, I don't get it. Like, why? Why do you care about Donald Trump that much? That every time you have to remind everybody how much you hate Donald Trump. If that's the case, go to CNN. Become a political contributor to CNN. They'll take you. You hate Donald Trump. You're one of the few Republicans, 10, that voted to impeach the guy. If you hate Donald Trump that bad, go work for CNN. They are always looking for conservatives that are actually really independents who hate Donald Trump. You can make a lot of money. Go there, please. And I can't, the way you hear me right now, I guarantee you the voters in his district that support President Trump are just fuming. Or just irate. David Valadao, there are seats that I really want to win. And I just, if I could ask Kevin McCarthy a question, it would be, you've supported David Valadao quite a bit. And I don't see the same amount of support for Mike Marr. And I think Mike Marr is a great candidate. He does have the ability to beat Jim Costa here locally. So my only question would be like, hey, is the money worth spending it on David Valadao and not Mike Marr? It's unfathomable that David Valadao would make that statement. You don't have to like the guy. Like, that's okay. If you don't like Trump, that's fine. But you really need to remind everybody how much you hate the guy. He's no better than, to me, in my book, he's no better than Liz Cheney. Kinzinger. It's the same damn thing. Same thing. Hochul turns to prominent Dems ahead of the midterm. Oh, man. The New York governor, Hochul, turning to Kamala Harris and Hillary Clinton. Again, what did I say at the top of the show? What did I say? This proves my exact point. They really don't want to win. When you have Kamala Harris and Hillary Clinton going out on the stump for you or for anyone, that is a clear indicator that you really don't care about winning. You really don't care about winning. Anyhow, I just wanted to share my immense frustration with David Valadao and how he just committed a huge unforced error that he did not need to commit in saying that he wouldn't vote for President Trump again. It's so infuriating. It really is. All right, let's get to some Joe Biden audio because I promised everybody that we would get to what he had said yesterday. Again, just take my entire premise that the Democrats don't care about winning next Tuesday. The Democrats don't care about you. The Democrats don't care about the average American person. The Democrats only care about retaining power. That's all they care about. Deep down inside, they truly don't care about what happens to this country. They're not going to work with the right. They're not going to work with conservatives. David Valadao, who hates Donald Trump, they're not even going to work with you, bud. Like, they're not going to work with anybody. They have no motivation to solve anyone's issues at all. All right, so here's Joe Biden last night. It's almost even, I almost cringe. Were he not president of the United States, I wouldn't be playing any of this audio because I value your time and I value your ears. But Joe Biden is absolutely just, it's crazy what he says. I don't even, you can't even justify it rationally because he's such an irrational person. He's so far away from reality that I hate to waste your time, but here's some snippets of what the president had to say yesterday.
Hope you'll ask a simple question of each candidate you might vote for. Will that person accept the legitimate will of the voting in his district? will that person accept the outcome of the election, win or lose? The answer to that question is vital.
Really?
In my opinion, it should be decisive.
Hey, listen, whoever you vote, come on, man, here's the deal. Whoever you vote for, don't ask them about the economy. Don't ask them what they're going to do to help you. Don't ask them what they're going to do to help out your child, to make you. So you ask them if they're willing to accept the outcome of the election, because that is vital. That's the decision maker. I don't even know, besides a CNN poll or a far lefty poll, I don't even spend money on a poll or even poll people. You ask any American what the biggest issue is, I guarantee you they're not going to say a candidate who questions the results of elections. Without a doubt. It's insanity, guys. Is what it is.
It's estimated there are more than 300 election deniers on the ballot all across America this year. Can't ignore the impact it's having on our country. Damaging, corrosive, destructive.
300 election deniers are on the ballot.
It was an enraged mob whipped up into a frenzy by a president repeating over and over again, big lie. Election of 2020, stolen.
President Biden talks incessantly about President Trump, nonstop. This is actually a good thing for conservatives. The fact that Joe Biden just won't let the man go. You know, and I think this is the best thing that Donald Trump has done the last 2 years is pretty much stay out of the spotlight as much as he can. But the reason why President Biden is going after Donald Trump is because hating Donald Trump is actually a campaign strategy. That's why he's doing it.
Trying to succeed, they failed in 2020. Suppress the right of voters and subvert the electoral system itself. That means denying your right to vote, deciding whether your vote even counts.
We're going to find out in several days if people actually, if the voting was suppressed. You know that in Georgia, Pennsylvania, Arizona, we're going to find out because, you know, that's what they want to tell you. The left wants to tell you that the right wants to make sure that people don't vote, and somehow we're going to it can make sure that we keep people away from the polls, right? That's the biggest thing. We're going to see in a couple of days how many people turn out. I'm just curious, and not that they're going to admit it, but what happens when there's massive turnouts in these states? They can't say that people just were afraid to vote. I mean, you have massive turnout, record voting turnout. What are they going to say? They can't say that people were afraid. I mean, you had high voter turnout, and I don't think it's going to be high. But here's President Biden, and more of his just being tone deaf.
Great irony about the 220 election that it's the most attacked election in our history. And yet, no election in our history that we can be more certain of its results.
You say 220? The election of 220?
Great irony about the 220 election.
The 220 election? I didn't know we had an election in 220, the year 220. Maybe you mean 2022, buddy.
It's the most attacked election in our history. And yet, no election in our history that we can be more certain of its results.
Hey, listen, guys, no election in history can we be more certain than 2022 or 2020. Not 220 either, by the way.
Democracy means the rule of the people, not the rule of monarchs or the moneyed, the rule of the people.
Like, what are you even talking about? What monarch is in? I didn't know Prince Charles. Well, not sorry, King Charles. I don't know King Charles was. What monarchy are you talking about? Like what do you? This guy, he makes zero sense. Joe Biden is so out of touch. How in the heck is this guy this far out of touch? How in the heck I think the bigger question is, how in the heck is a billionaire, Donald Trump, more in touch with the American people than this guy? This guy that grew up in Scranton, lived in the crappiest place of all. And he says it, he admits it. He's like, Scranton was a dump. I mean, how can someone who lived in a dump, who worked his way, became successful, and obviously he's president of the United States, he's had success, and more, Hunter's had more, but how can he be so out of touch with the American experience? I just don't get it. I don't get it at all.
Trying to succeed, they failed in 2020. Suppress the right of voters and subvert the electoral system itself. That means denying your right to vote and deciding whether your vote even counts. It was an enraged mob whipped up into a frenzy by a president repeating over and over again, big lie.
Yeah, I'm going to go back to where I started. They don't care. They don't care about winning. He doesn't want to win. What I think everybody needs to be looking out for the day after the election and moving forward is who's going to announce. Because after next Tuesday, the political scene is completely different. The morning of November 9th will be incredibly interesting in the sense that we're going to find out exactly what Joe Biden plans to do for the remainder of his political career. Is he going to? Is he literally going to run again in 2024? Which I didn't I call it? You know what? Next time I see Alan Autry, let me write this down because we had a bet going on. Alan, what does he owe me? I'm a vegetarian. I told him I was going to go to Ruth Chris Steakhouse and order the biggest steak and just leave it on the table for him. But we had a bet going on. He said that Joe Biden, remember, he not only Alan Autry, tons of people said Joe Biden's gone. He won't even last till the midterms. And I told everybody back then, producer, we got to pull the clip. I told everybody back then, last year, I said, no. Joe Biden is not leaving before the midterms. In fact, he's running in 2024. What did I tell you? What did I tell you? And what do you think is going to happen? Let's say what I told you was going to happen. If only I could predict the lotto numbers like that. You know, what would you do, producer? What would you do with 1.5 billion? 1.5 billion. That's a lot of. Actually, after taxes, damn. Uncle Sam and Aunt Samantha, they take. Well, I know you only have $770 something million. I know it's a lot of money. Yeah, that's right. I shouldn't say only. Yeah, that's a lot of. Would you still work? Would you still come to the studio? You would? You're such a liar. You'd probably buy me out. And I'd sell it to you. I would. I'd sell you the whole station. I give it to you I'll give it to you for $1 million. No, I wouldn't. Not 2 million. 5 million. I'll give you the discount. $4.999 million. What would you do with that much money? Huh? What would you do with that much? I couldn't even fathom. How much is that a day if you try to spend it? That's a lot of. I don't even. You could. In this economy, you could spend that. You could probably spend that in a day. I think you really could. I mean, you buy a bunch of properties and boom, there the money all goes. But anyhow, I don't play the lottery. When is the next time they draw? I don't know. Well, let me see. One of the numbers should be 15 and 50 because it's 15-50. You know, so if you want lotto advice, I was so good at predicting that Joe Biden wouldn't leave before the midterm election. There you go. Make sure that one of your numbers, if you're going to play, is 15 and 50. There you go. Do it for me. And if you win, just share a little bit of the money with me, and I'll be very happy. $700 million. But is that a blessing or a curse? A blessing? You're like, that's a blessing. No, producer, a lot of people that win the lotto end up being very depressed, and a lot of people die, go missing. Would you tell anybody? I wouldn't. Yeah, don't tell anybody. Then they're going to ship your body to me like in package. They'll send me a finger is what they'll do. They'll send me Jeremy's finger and say, hey, you know, if you want the rest of Jeremy, you're going to have to pay. But man, I don't know what I would do with that much money. Yeah, I don't have that problem, and I won't because I'm not going to play the lottery. But anyhow, for those of you, so hopefully someone in our listening audience will win if you win the lottery, just give 1550, and you know, just give us 15,000,050. I'll be happy with that. We'll go buy up. It'll be 1550 all across the nation from one coast to the other. That's what you could do. That's what I do with the money probably. Oh gosh, I'm up against a hard break. All right, tomorrow Alan Autry will be back. Don't forget midterm coverage next week. Got cut off. That's all right. All right. Thank you so much. I will see you mañana. Alan Autry will be back in studio. Don't forget election coverage next Tuesday right here, wherever you're watching, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. I'm not sure we're up on Twitter and YouTube, but nonetheless, watch us here on Facebook Live. Alan Autry, Jim Franklin, myself, Larry Powell will be breaking down all of the races nationally for our national audience and specifically a lot of local races. So, all right, everybody.